1981, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
When Marcos declared martial law in 1972, he threw Ninoy in jail along with a number of other people.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to each and everyone, especially to you, ma'am. So for our today's report, we are going back, or we are traveling our histories back for us to understand and grapple up with our complex questions and dilemmas by examining how the past has shaped and how it does continues to shape. So, after the Philippine Constitution in 1935, Philippine Constitution evolved once again and leading us to one of the most prominent constitutional era of the Philippines and making it to the 1973 Philippine Constitution, or the Constitutional Authoritarianism, or also known as the Marcos Constitution. But what it makes prominent that even 60 decades later, people still talk about it. So now, let's go back from where it started. In 1965, Ferdinand E. Marcos was elected as president, or he was inaugurated to his first term as the 10th president of the Philippines on the 30th of December in 1965. So his inauguration marked the beginning of his 2-decade-long stay in power, even though the 1935 Philippine Constitution had set a limit of only 2 to 4 years of terms. So Marcos had won the Philippine presidential election in 1965 against Diosdado Macapagal and became the 10th president of the Philippines. So he pursued an aggressive program of infrastructure development funded, making him very popular throughout his first term and eventually making him the first and only president on the Third Philippine Republic to win a second term, which would lead to his declaration of the martial law in 1972. So, President Marcos did a lot of contributions in our country, and his first term was successfully marked by industrialization, infrastructure development, and a decrease of the rice productions. So, Marcos also established schools and learning institutions, including our school that was named before as Cotabato City Polytechnic College, and his big contributions in our country that is more than enough than all presidents combined. So, President Marcos was a great president during his time indeed. So, let's proceed to his declaration of the martial law. So, why did President Marcos declare martial law? It is stated there that he declared martial law, or President Marcos imposed martial law on the nation from 1972 to 1981 to suppress the increasing civil strife and the threat of a communist takeover following a series of bombings in Manila. So, typically, martial law is being declared in times of emergency, civil unrest, and war, but its imposition is restricted by civil law. When he declared martial law in 1972, Marcos claimed that he had done it so in response to the communist threat posed by the newly founded Communist Part of the Philippines, or the CPP, and the Sectarian Rebellion of the Mindanao Independence Movement, or the MIM. So, bakit nga ba naitalaga ang martial law at bakit nagkaroon ng communist threat from CPP and the Sectarian Rebellion of MIM against Marcos? So, if you are not familiar with the Jabida Massacre, let me ascertain it to you first. So, in March 18, 1968, Jabida Massacre was happened the alleged killing of Moro recruits who rise up allegedly upon learning the purpose of their training, and it is also acknowledged as a major flashpoint that inflamed the Moro insurgency in the Philippines. So, Jabida Massacre was also known as Corregidor Massacre because the alleged killing took place on Corregidor Island in the Philippines. So, how did it happen? Why our Moro men that recruits and trained by Marcos military was killed or massacred at the end? So, let us watch this following video first for enlightenings. This video was credits to ABS-CBN Bandilas report.
Puno ng turista ang mga ferry papuntang Corregidor, pero hindi karaniwang tour ang hanap ng mga bisitang ito. Hinanap nila ang lugar kung saan dinala ang maraming binatang Moro noong 1968 para magsanay sa ilalim ng militar. Ilang daang kalalakihang Moro ang dinala rito ng rehimeng Marcos para magsagawa ng sikretong misyon na magtatangkang bawiin ang Sabah mula sa Malaysia. Pero nadiskubre ng mga recruit na posibleng maging resulta ng misyon nila ay ang mapatay ang kapwa nila Muslim sa Sabah. Nang hindi na matuloy-tuloy ang misyon, pinatay na dito sa Corregidor ang mga lalaking Moro, nakilala na ngayon bilang Jabida Massacre. Dito sa airstrip na ito, pinapila ang mga binatang Moro at isa-isa silang pinagbabaril ng militar dahil hindi na umano sila kailangan ng Pangulong Marcos. Maraming nagsasabing hindi totoo ang Jabida Massacre dahil hindi na natagpuan ang bangkay ng mga kalalakihan. Pero kanina, isang marker ang pinasinayaan sa mismong Kindley Field bilang formal na pagkilala ng pamahalaan na bahagi talaga ng kasaysayan ng Pilipinas ang Jabida Massacre.
Yung kilalanin yung naging kontribusyon namin laban sa pang-aapi.
Maraming hindi nakakaalam na itong Jabida Massacre ang dahilan kung bakit nabuo ang Moro National Liberation Front o MNLF. Dito nagsimula ang buong laban ng mga Moro.
The triggering device of that struggle for self-determination is this island.
Isa sa mga sama ng loob ng Bangsamoro ang tila hindi pagpansin at hindi pagturo sa publiko na minsang naging biktima rin sila. Malaking sugat daw ang nahilom ng maliit na palatandaang ito dahil kahit papano nakataga na sa bato, nakasali rin sila sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas.
As you can see or just watch was a report about what happened on about exactly 50 years ago today, and Muslim trainees were shot to death on Corregidor Island in what has been known as the Jabida Massacre. So, before, plano ng Marcos administration is to invade or bawiin ng Sabah in Malaysia na pinaniniwalaan ng Sabah ay pagmamay-ari ng Philippines. So, Marcos administration was alleged this top-secret mission to invade Sabah because, according to my research, it was given to them by the Sultanate of Brunei in 1658 for the Sulu Sultanate's help in settling a civil war in Brunei. So, ang nangyari, Marcos military recruit and trained these Moromans for this secret mission that later on, nalaman nila na kapwa-Muslim rin pala nila sa Malaysia ang kanilang kakalabanin, that the Muslim refused to fight, and because of that, they were purportedly killed and eventually led to the formation of the MNLF and the other consolidation forces to use Sabah as this refuge and base. So that's why many of our Muslim brothers hated Marcos. But, according to my deep research, it was Benigno Aquino who actually debunked the allegation of the Jabida Massacre from the very start, because the politicians of the Liberal Party at that time used a propaganda weapon intended to deal to be a fatal blow to President Marcos for re-election on the next year. And just sharing my thoughts, the way how I see this in Marcos proclaiming martial law is for the best of the Filipinos in the country. But somehow, the implementation of it had been ruined by some of the people with bad intentions, or either they abusing the power that Marcos gave to the military, or plotting unimaginable human rights violation and other crimes to sabotage Marcos. Because we all know that he did a lot to rebuild our country, and it's more than enough kahit pagsamasamahin pa ang mga nagawa ng mga naunang presidente ng Pilipinas or ng ating country. And according nga to Senator Bongbong Marcos during his interview with Jessica Soho, ang kasalanan ng sundalo ay hindi nangangahulugang kasalanan din ng presidente. And that was a very well said by our senator. And before I end this report, I am suggesting you to watch the actual video of President Marcos in declaring martial law for you to make your own perspective about why he did declare martial law and what is his pure intention for declaring it. So, the video was 10 minutes plus long and I didn't attach it because it was too long nga. But if you happen to watch it, just search this one. So, that's all for my report. Shukran and wassalam.